Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Blind Voice Politics. And we're here, as promised, with a special episode today.
It's Monday. It's Monday. Happy Monday.
Chris, you have a tendency to sing on this show.
I know. I'm thinking that I'm on my way to Broad Street. I'm telling you.
I support. I will endorse your efforts to try and make it to Broad Street, my friend. Not to Broadway. That's too much.
Well, the song I just sang belongs on Broad Street. The first song I sang belongs on Broadway.
No, nothing you've done belongs on Broadway, sir. I'm sorry.
Really? Should we have the viewers decide that?
I'm being primary judge. The viewers can decide, I suppose.
But you're not the judge. You're irrelevant here. This is between me, the viewers, and Broadway.
You're never making it on Broadway. I'm sorry.
Watch me.
I'll crush your hopes and dreams.
I will be up there singing with Randy Rainbow.
Well, until that day comes, we're still here doing a podcast, my friend. And
and this is my platform to get my voice out there. That was really bad.
That was beautiful.
So I digress. While I wait for Broadway to call me, let's talk about the Electoral College.
Right. Our special episode, since the election is drawing near, and a lot of people don't, kind of understand exactly how the Electoral College works and what it's all about. We figured that we'd give a breakdown here about a little about its history and about how it works.
First of all, can I say one thing?
What's that?
Me and Nick were on Zoom, so I can see Nick, and I just raised my hand to say something like he would see it.
Oh my god. That is the best thing ever.
If that's not a sign of my exhaustion, I don't know what is.
That's amazing. All right.
So, while I was raising my hand, I would have a question. Before we get into the Electoral College, my genius brain, hours ago, not just right now, thought, should we play some trivia?
I'm always down for a good game of trivia.
How much you know about the election?
Okay. I'm scared to make this public, but let's do it.
Okay. How many days away is the November 3rd election?
Well, as of the day of release of this episode, it will be 15 days.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Your next question is, true or false? All U.S. citizens can register to vote online.
Well, I mean, just thinking about it, I'm going to have to go with false.
That's correct.
I feel like a genius right now.
Some people that are not able to register to vote is people that have felonies or past felonies or under the age of 18.
Makes sense.
Your next question is, true or false? My absentee ballot is not counted unless the election is close.
Again, I want to say false.
That was correct.
Because you got to assume, like, with the voting system, it's supposed to be fair. They always try to tell you have a voice no matter what. So that if they just go in and be like, nah, you don't matter. It's like, oh, okay. Then there'd be no reason to vote anymore.
Your next and final question to see if you pass to still be able to be host of this show is your final question. You got 3 out of the 4 right. If you get this one right, you are still the host. If you get it wrong, goodbye. What U.S. constitutional amendment gave women the right to vote?
The 19th.
Ding, ding, ding. You have won correctly on the show. You are still a host. Congratulations.
Great, I get to work with you still.
I said this.
Hoorah!
I said that so enthusiastically. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I tried to get rid of them.
But I
Okay.
remain here. I stand strong.
Uh,
So now that we have done a little trivia and had a little fun and found out that I'm actually smart, sort of.
okay.
Let's get into a little bit about what the Electoral College is, what it does, all the fascinating things.
You mean what everyone came here for?
Exactly.
Okay. So the Electoral College. It's not a college, just to let you know. Just start there. It's actually a group of people that decide who the president is going to be. It was established when the United States was established by a list of people that Nick will so lovingly read.
Yes, it was set up by the founding fathers through the Constitution. So of course, these founding fathers were Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, James Madison, James Monroe, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and finally John Adams. And of course, the reason that they put the Electoral College into place was essentially because they didn't trust the American people uh, to make a good political decision on their own.
Right, and you know, we'll talk about this later, but many people have been against the Electoral College, but how it actually works is each state gets a certain amount of Electoral College votes based on that state's population. So, for example, California has 55 Electoral College votes, and South Dakota has 3.
And when it comes to the popular vote versus the electoral vote, every state except for Maine and Nebraska has a winner take all system, which essentially means that whatever the state's popular vote is, that's what the electoral college's vote is supposed to be. All their votes will go towards whichever party the state votes for, in the popular vote.
Total across the United States, there is 538 electoral votes. For a president to win, they need to get 270 votes. Because that's, half. No, that's over half.
Now, despite what I just said about the popular vote going to the electoral college putting their votes towards whatever side the popular vote goes for, except for the 2 states there. Well, in truth, there are certain times when the electoral vote and the popular vote don't exactly match, because sometimes certain electoral representatives will go and put their vote somewhere else.
Right, and this has happened several times, 5 times, sorry, to be exact. It happened in the 2016 election, very famously known. 2000 election, Al Gore won the popular vote, but Bush won the electoral college votes, and it also happened in 1878 to Samuel Tynan, 1888 to Grover Cleveland.
So the reason the electoral college still exists now is because, in theory, if you take away the electoral college, the voices of the smaller states could be drowned out. Of course, that's a huge debate going on even today, but we'll get more into that. And also, in order to get rid of the electoral college or change it, you'd have to amend the Constitution, which isn't exactly the easiest process in the world.
Moving right along from what Nick said, that the next topic and our final topic is the big debate of whether or not the electoral college should be eliminated. Elizabeth Warren, we talked about her, I think, 2 weeks ago, about her running for the president, and that was one of her big things that she wanted to eliminate the Electoral College. Now, a lot of people think, well, it's just the Democrats. They're sad that it seems like it always happens to them. They just wanted to eliminate it, so it gives them the upper hand. Um,
Truth is, though, this isn't anything new. People have been trying to change it for the longest time. In fact, it's been targeted over 700 times to be changed. 700.
and that's the most targeted item in the Constitution's history. John Adams, we talked about him a few minutes ago. He actually called it evil. He was against it all the way. He said it was evil. It takes away the people's voice. But if you can't figure it out, he ultimately lost that battle.
So back in 1968, a senator by the name of Birch Bott tried to eliminate it, and he got so close. He was 3 votes away, and he wanted to just straight up replace it with a direct popular vote. But of course, again, that failed.
It was very close, actually, to happening because in 1969 it had an 85% approval rating and it had mass supporting from both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans. And then in 1970, the House of Representatives overwhelmingly voted to get rid of it once again. That also included Richard Nixon, who was president at the time.
But after that, and after it failed, it pretty much just kind of disappeared as an issue until 2000.
Now, there is a new idea that has surfaced after the 2016 election called the National Popular Vote Interstate Commission. That sounds like a very complicated name, but it is a lot easier than what it sounds like. What it boils down to is it would be required, put into the Constitution, that if, let's say, New York got overwhelmingly, it turned out that more votes were for Democrat than Republican, the Electoral College votes would have to go to the vote for the Democrat candidate. Those votes would have to go towards that automatically.
Right. So again, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Most states do have a winner-take-all system, but as we also saw, that winner-take-all system doesn't exactly always, it doesn't always come into play. We've seen multiple times that the Electoral College and the popular vote just didn't match up. In 2016, as we said, really, really famous example of that. Kind of caused a pretty big uproar. And so now they're actually trying to make it a law. They're actually trying to put something in place to make sure that the winner-take-all system essentially happens.
Now, states that have already signed on to this and made it a law is New York, California, Colorado, Washington, Illinois, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut.
Now, this isn't just supported by one side, of course. This is supported by both the Democrats and Republicans. And this won't pass, though, until at least 270 electoral votes agree and side with this.
Now, without a doubt, if this did happen, it would become a huge court case in the Supreme Court, without a doubt, just because it would be such a mass change to the Constitution, ways things have always been done, and it would probably be just as big of a deal as getting rid of the Electoral College altogether.
Right. So, of course, none of that is quite, put into play yet. We don't know if it's even going to happen. So for now, we're still running with the same old Electoral College. Of course, you are still going to see people go against it, people fight it.
It's a long ways off from anything being changed. Nothing that's going to definitely happen this election, and probably not the one after that.
Yeah, this is going to be a long process. Nothing may change for quite some time. Um, but besides that, that is about everything to cover, all the important stuff about the Electoral College. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this special little episode. Um, since we couldn't bring you guys a normal news episode this Monday, but this topic is definitely important right about now since the election is coming. So this came to us kind of at a perfect time.
Right, and so, it's usually the Monday show, like Nick said, with news, just kind of like the Friday one. But if there's not enough news Mondays, I think what we're going to start doing is kind of do special episodes like this, up until the election, if there is any more. And then after that, we might just have special episodes regarding to other things.
Yes. But that is it for us. If you guys want to follow us on social media, the links, as always, will be in the show notes. So go over there and give us a follow. There's always some good news updates on the Blind Boys Politics Twitter account, and then on our personal accounts, we try to have some fun, be entertaining, be dumb, whatever we're feeling that day.
Give our
So
true feelings.
yeah, exactly.
But until Wednesday morning, have a good day. See you later.
Bye, guys.